What's up, everyone? John Rettinger from Techno in Buffalo here with a double dose of unboxing for you, a 2-for-1. We're going to take a look at Microsoft's Kin 1 and Kin 2 for Verizon Wireless. I have not seen either of these devices, so I'm kind of curious to see what they look like. They sort of straddle the line between smartphone and feature phone. I guess you'd call them a smart feature phone. They utilize Microsoft's new Kin Loop and Kin Spot, the Loop being the operating system, which is a way to integrate really all of your social networks into dynamic tiles. And the Spot is a way to share information, share pictures, photos, messages with friends and I suppose family as well. And I'll give you guys a demonstration as to how all this stuff works. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and hack on in and do our unboxing, and I'll go through the specs of each of these. And of course, we're going to use the big old knife. And just sort of from feeling the bag here, you can tell these boxes are different. They're actually round. Most of the boxes that I get are usually pretty square. So this is a much easier package to unbox. Alright, so looks like here we have the Kin 2. Kind of interesting packaging. Looks like some of those carnival peanuts where you pull it out and the snake jumps out of there. And we have the Kin 1 in white. I think there's something else in this bag. Looks like it's the top to that Kin 2 came off. I'll go ahead and put that right back on. Alright, so let's take a look at these two phones. Let's start with the smaller, less expensive Kin 1, and let's talk some specs. So the Kin 1, both these are available on Verizon Wireless, I should mention. The Kin 1 is going to set you back just about $50, so it'll be $149.99 after a 2-year contract. Then you've got an online discount of $100. So about $50 is going to get you a phone with a 2.6-inch TFT QVGA capacitive touchscreen. So that's a lot to sort of absorb. Essentially, it's a 2.6-inch capacitive touchscreen with a resolution of 320 by 240. You are going to get a 5-megapixel camera, which is actually pretty good. 4 gigs of onboard storage, 256 megabytes of DDR RAM, and a battery that's going to last you about 210 hours of standby time and 340 minutes of talk time on a package that weighs about 3.9 ounces. So that was a lot of specs. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So this is obviously a very untraditional box. Sort of a round cylinder is a little bit weird. So go ahead and open this thing up. It looks like this is still sealed, so I can be reviewer number 1 on this device. Go ahead and cut the tape there. Cut the tape here. Although I do give Microsoft credit for improving their packaging of their devices. So I'll go ahead and open this, or at least try to open it. Comes off like a cork. Pull this out. You got some cardboard tab. Nothing else in there, but it is green. This is very interesting packaging. Kind of cool. So looks like we'll pull off this sort of elastic. Oh, I think trying to get this back in the box may be a monster pain. So we'll pull that off. And I would guess that it probably opens up. And it does open up. These are previously codenamed, I believe, the Turtle. You may have seen this on other sites. We'll go ahead and pop that out. That is unlike any other phone I have ever seen. Put that off to the side for just a minute. It almost looks like a watch, like a big fat watch, more than a phone. Love the way we talk. Designed by Microsoft and Redmond. No, just kidding. You turn me on, Kin. All about the Kin, settings, dashboard. This does have a Zune subscription service integrated, so you do get pretty much a Zune player as well. Unlimited music with the Zune Pass, and product and warranty stuff. Push it off to the side. Nobody cares about that. Let's see what else we get. We have a little wall to USB adapter. You guys probably have a ton of these laying around, but that's all that is. Let's see what else we have here. We've got a pair of headphones. Always a nice inclusion. And the sync and charging cable, which is micro USB. So we do have a standard. And we've got the battery here, which is of size, I'm going to guess 1100 milliamp hours based on those specs, but let's see. Go ahead and rip open the package. We are of size, dun dun dun, it is a Sharp battery. Nope, I was wrong. It is 1,240 milliamp hours. So it's a pretty decent sized battery for a 3G smartphone. Let's take a look at the phone itself, because this thing is super weird. It's got that little ridge on top, which I didn't expect. I mean, it is very, very small. I mean, it really doesn't even look like a phone. I wonder how this would be to hold up to your face. It does have a slide-out QWERTY keyboard. See how this feels. Keyboard actually has a very nice feel to it. The keys are very spaced out. Generally, I'm not the biggest fan of this orientation slider because you don't get a wider keys. But this is not bad. If you look at the keys compared to, say, the Palm Pre Plus, you can see that it's much, much more spacious here on the Kin than it would be on the Palm. The screen is definitely on the small side. There is a dedicated smiley button right there, if you can see it in focus, which is kind of neat. This is sort of the evolution of the Sidekick, I suppose, since Microsoft acquired Danger, which made the Sidekick devices. So very, very small. Windows Phone, Verizon Sharp. It's got sort of a plastic back to it. Let's see what else we got on the phone. So on the left-hand side, we've got the charging port, and I don't know if you could even call that the top or not, but it looks like there are the volume rockers up and down. 3.5mm headset jack. I'm guessing that is the lock and power button. There's a little thing right there that pops out. That's for the back. It looks like we have a hardware button on the side, which is probably for the camera. Let's pop in the battery with this thing live on camera and see what this looks like on, because I'm very curious about this Kin interface. So this may be a long video here, especially unboxing two of these phones. So I'll pop that off, throw the battery in, and while it is booting up, we'll go take a look at the Kin 2, the Kin 1's big brother. I gotta tell you, I was a little bit skeptical looking at this, but the hardware is kind of fun. I don't know if I could use this as a daily driver, but it's a very unique form factor for a phone. Kind of interesting. Looks like there's also another button right there, a menu button in the middle of the screen. Go ahead and turn that on. At least I think that's the power button. Oh, we may not have any sort of charge at all in the battery to power this thing on. It looks like the battery is completely dead. So we're going to have to charge it. You're going to have to wait to see what this device looks like for the next video. So we'll go ahead and push all this stuff off to the side. All the Kin 1-ness. And let's take a look at Big Brother, dressed in black, the Kin 2. So let's talk specs of the Kin 2. It has the same resolution, 320 by 240, but it does have a 3.4-inch screen, which is quite nice. It's going to set you back just about $100, so $200 on a 2-year contract, and then $100 of online discounts. Comes in at 4.7 ounces. You're going to get about 365 minutes of talk time. So you're going to get about 25 minutes more of talk time versus the Kin 1. And you're going to get up to 232 hours of standby time. This one has actually 8 megabytes of onboard storage and 256 megabytes of RAM. And it has an 8 megapixel camera, which is pretty impressive. And these things are both pretty well stocked with QWERTY keyboard, speakerphone, GPS, and the rest. Let's go ahead and pull this off, and this top was already off when it got shipped. Sort of the same experience. Green inside, black box, push that off. Same sort of elastic. Go ahead and, I think it's opening up like a coffin. Oops. Big things got all mixed around here. Alright, so here is the Kin 2. This one's got a more traditional smartphone feel to it. Push that off to the side. Probably got the same sort of books in here, I would assume. You Turned Me On. Looks exactly the same. All about the Zune Pass and how it works. We just saw that a minute ago. We've got the same charger we saw on the Kin 1. USB to your wall. Probably the same slew of accessories as well. We've got the headset and the micro USB charger. And the battery, which is significantly larger, is of size, any guesses? I don't know, maybe 1,300 milliamp hours. It's always fun to try and see if you can predict the battery length. Although, this plastic is harder to look at. So to entertain you, and hopefully I don't slice my finger off, we're going to go to the big old knife to rip this plastic. There we go. Let's see what we got going on here. This is a battery of size 1,390 milliamp hours. So a bit bigger, and that's probably why you get a bit more talk time, and it's powering a little bit of a larger screen. Let's take a look at it here. So we've got, as I just mentioned, the 3.4-inch capacitive touchscreen with QVGA resolution. You've got the, I think that's upside down. You got the microphone port, sort of that, I guess that's a home button of some sort. You've got your microphone or speaker rather up top. On the left side of the device appears to be nothing. On the right side, it looks like where all the action happens. You've got your volume up and down, power button, shoulder button. I don't know, maybe that's the power button. Perhaps that's the camera button. And there is the 8 megapixel camera that this thing has, which is a pretty powerful camera. 3.5 millimeter headset jack. And it has a slide out QWERTY keyboard. These buttons are a little bit weird, they're very round. I'm not sure what that green button does. Again, I've never even used any of these kin devices, so this is all very new to me. It's a pretty simplistic slide out keyboard. Really just your standard, I guess, 3 rows of keys with the 4th row being a monster spacebar. If you don't have a dedicated number pad, you got to probably hit the green button, which is like a shift, and then go to your numbers. So let's go ahead and pop in the battery for this one, see if we can get one of these to power on. These give you a bit of a sneak preview as to what the device looks like. And I was probably hitting the wrong button on the Kin 1 to turn it on, would be my guess. So let's see if we can jimmy out the back of this thing here. I gotta tell you, sometimes getting these things open is a hard part. Let's see if one of these other buttons on the Kin is the power. The Kin 1. I gotta tell you, on first blush, I'm kind of partial to the way the Kin 1 looks and feels. It's very unique. The Kin 2 has a more traditional sort of smartphone feel to it. You know, with the slide out. But this is it's so tiny. With a surprisingly usable keyboard, although I'm wondering how usable that screen's going to be. So we're getting our Kin animations here on the Kin 1. I was incorrect by saying that was a power button, the big one. It's probably the camera shutter button. The power button is actually that right shoulder. That's probably the lock button as well. So it looks like doing this little Kin thing here. Alright, it's like that's just its boot up screen. Change your language. I don't think we need to do that. Go ahead and cancel. Looks like it's already in English. We'll go to English. Connect to the Verizon network. So I'm not going to make you guys watch all this. It just calls Verizon and lets you know that the phone is activated. It's waiting for instructions. And that's about it. But it's a very interesting phone with a really surprisingly spacious keyboard. I'll do some hands-on time with both these devices if you're considering the Kin 1 or its big brother, the Kin 2, to see which one is right for you. So what do you guys think about these Kin devices? I gotta say, overall, without even using them yet, I'm impressed with the packaging. It was a very high-end experience, and the phones themselves appear to be relatively high quality, although how the operating system works and how it integrates with the phone, who knows how that's gonna be. But for right now, it doesn't look half bad. Much better than I expected. So anyway, guys, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. For all your tech news, be sure to check out Techno Buffalo, where you can go and create your own tech subsite, monetize it, makes a couple bucks, and you can integrate and talk to people with our built-in social network and sort of get all your new tech news. Anyway, I will see you in the next video, and for exclusive content, check me out at Twitter, twitter.com/John4Lakers. All that information will be down below, probably right around here. Anyway, looks like the Kin 1 is done booting. Couldn't program the phone. Anyway, John Rettinger, Techno Buffalo. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.